welcome to our subject, which is GE6, or also known as art appreciation. So I know you are quite exhausted with your other subject, di ba? Marami kayong ginagawang mga bagay-bagay. You need to solve, write essays, and the like. But here in our subject, we will try to navigate our mind instead of pressuring ourselves, learning a lot of things. Here in our subject, I bet that we will just enjoy your learning journey, most especially with art appreciation. And of course, let me welcome you all students. Welcome in our class! Yay! I know there are some sections na hindi ko pa talaga na-handle on the previous semesters. That is why I'm quite excited, of course, of how you could be able to interact with me throughout this journey. And of course, let me introduce first myself. By the way, I am Mark John M. Martinez, 22 years of age. And of course, you may contact me on the following information. So I do have my email account, that is mjmartinez at ascat.edo.ph. And of course, with my contact number, we have 0912314401. And of course, reminders to those students who would like to call me. Bawal ha, basta kalit sa kwa, hi sir, I want to be your ticksmith. Please, ayaw. So of course, if you want to call me, text me in advance, of course, by simply, what do we call this one? Writing first your name, your section, and of course, your concern. Bakit mo gustong tumawag? Di ba? Yun lang. And of course, talking about art appreciation. So this course develops students' ability to appreciate, analyze, and critique works of art. So napakahirap i-achieve nung appreciate because that is innate sa atin. How could we be able to appreciate art? That is through application. Of course, I know that lahat ng nahandilan ko ngayon under art appreciation are what? Education students. That is why we would like to incorporate teaching as well as art. And of course, through interdisciplinary and multimodal approaches, this course equips students with a broad knowledge of the practical, historical, philosophical, and social relevance of arts in order to hone students' ability to articulate their understanding of arts or of the arts. I know there are some students, your assumption with art appreciation is, sir, mag-drawing, rata sir, magkuan-kuan, rata sir, paint. Of course not. We will go beyond with your assumption because you will be learning some concepts that is what? Necessary for you before you could be able to appreciate art. For example, The Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. So, hindi natin alam ano yung history niyan. Therefore, we will be discussing that one. So, for you to be able to appreciate a certain art, diba, you need to know first its history. If it has a relevant history, therefore, it makes you what? Appreciate a certain artwork. And of course, the course also develops students' competency in researching and curating art, as well as conceptualizing, mounting, and evaluating art productions. The course aims to develop students' genuine appreciation for Philippine arts by providing them opportunities to explore the diversity and richness and their what do we call this one notedness in Filipino culture. So of course, bakit pa tayo magdi-discuss ng sa ibang bansa? We will also try to contextualize our lesson with of course in the situation here in our country, which is Philippines. We all know that we do have a diverse culture. That is why I'm quite excited of this subject because I could be able to share to you what are the contributions of the Philippines, or what are the other art forms that can be found here in our country. That is why, stay tuned. And of course, here are our topics. So, we have actually 6 units. Yes, 6 units lang tayo. And of course, I know there are some topics here na masyadong mahaba. That is why we will try to focus more on the most important things that we need to discuss. Because here in our subject, alam nyo, I really want to focus more on application. Because anin pa natin yung concept, makakalimutan lang natin yan. So we need to know how to apply. That is actually, I do have an initial list for your activities. So, fina-finalize ko na siya. But, meron na kayong activity for the first unit. That is why, stay tuned with our Google Classroom. And of course, let me orient you with our grading system. So the same with the previous semester, we have this 60-40. But right now, it is subdivided, the 60% is subdivided into quizzes as well as project. Because here in our subject, we will be dealing with more on artworks, performance tasks. Okay, and of course, term exams are 40%. So we now have these rules and regulation, because here in our subject, you need to, of course, what do we call this one, abide the things that are stipulated in here. So first, we have this one. So actually, I prepared this, what do we call this one, meme. Ano itong meme na ito? Kapag crush kita, crush din dapat mo din dapat ako. Respect me. Okay, so from that meme, ano yung central idea niyan, core idea niyan? That is, be respectful. Because right now, we are having this distance education, flexible learning. So therefore, there will be no physical interaction between the teacher as well as the student. That is why we need to be respectful in many things. So for example, in messaging your instructor, be respectful. Not only sa akwa, but also with your classmates. Okay? And aside from that one, we also have this thing. Your road. Umayos ka. Natampot kita. Your road. Rigo Duterte. Good. So ano bang ibig sabihin yan? What is being rude? That is, be aware of strong language, making use of all caps or exclamation points. Because you know what? Kapag gagamit ka ng all caps, intense ka yung pagkasulti. So therefore, ang makadeceive, uy, nagsyagit naman siya, ani, uy. Then, there are also improper use of punctuation marks, most especially exclamation points. Nga ka ng mga medyo napalagay sa age nga pagka-Digimon, so magamit yung mga exclamation point, question mark. So please, let's be professional in using punctuation marks. And of course, we have this one. Pogi, kagaya ko. Like sure. In short, be careful with humor and sarcasm. Because of course, we do really have our own tea. So therefore, we need to see to it na no one will get offended when we throw jokes. So of course, most especially ako, of course, I just want to inform you all na I am quite, what do we call this one, fond of throwing jokes. That is why, ang mga medyo sensitive, yun kayo mo kakuan sa subject. That is why, lagi kong sinasabihan yung mga estudyante ko, class, na yung mga sensitive dire, okay, wala man po magkuan, because I told them nga kanang, grabe ba usay ba maka-joke ko, then makalimot ko, kasi ma-offend na mo, yun anay, so mga ilang ko dano kuan. So, that is one thing. But right now, in virtual, so therefore, we need to see to it na walay malain sa to ang mga i-message. Diba? So, be careful with our jokes. And of course, we have this one. What is the correct judgment term for the word millionaire? So, ano bang ibig sabihin yan? So, dapat mag-move on natin sa ito pag-judgment, no? So, yes, grammar and spelling matter. So, therefore, in messaging me, please make use, please. I am not really particular when it comes to you, having a good grammar. But of course, please make sure that your spelling is correct. I know we have this what we call imperfections, but try to not be judgment. Like for example, na yung mga bata magkutanan sa ako, mo ana lagi dayo. Hi sir. Sir nga na siya. And of course, ano din sila, nagpasa na mi. Please, tarungan niyo pag-message sa ako. And of course, unlike everyone, I get my news from reliable source. Then ang reliable source niya, Bikini Bottom. Pa-sure mo, cite your sources. For example, we'll have these video discussions or even in your essays. Please, if you got that certain paragraph from a certain article in the internet, please do cite your source. Make use of in-text citation and as well as your make use of this reference list. Okay, kaya para di mo maangolan because that is what we call intellectual property rights. And of course, share ko lang, flex ko lang, char. Don't post or share even private inappropriate material, most especially in our group chat na magkwentong last semester. Mag-share lagi o ka ng mga material na not relevant with our subject. Okay? So please, of course, if it is related with our subject, I would really love ganan kayo ko, most especially kung related sa art, ganan kayo ko. And of course, kanigyod siya. Pwede manligaw, hindi pwede. Prince na lang, good morning. Please, don't abuse the chat box. Most especially, ang ubang estudyante, they would mind it nga personal na siya. But please, don't abuse. But of course, there are some times nga kanang I find fond of throwing jokes. I think that would be okay for me. But kung seryoso na ganito ang gidaisgutan, please avoid abusing the chat box. Kaya na ay mga tapulan mag-scroll. Manay tapulan mag-backread. Okay? And of course, ano nangyari? Backread na naman ako. Attempt to find your own answer because there are some questions that were already answered on the previous messages pero tapulan na kang backread. So please, tarungan na siya. And of course, matuto kang kumalang sa nakakatanda sa iyo. So anong ibig sabihin yan? So set a respectful tone. So therefore, in messaging your instructor, dili lang sa ako, pati sa inyo ang uban instructor, please make use of po and opo. So for example, kung mag-message ako kay kuan dapat ingon ani siya. Good morning po sir. Ako po si taga Becca. Then now, nagamit ko BioFresh. Dili di ay. So, yun ana siya. So, you need to set a respectful tone, make use of po and opo. Ganun din kayo kuha ng estudyante ay parang last semester na dyan nag-message ako siya. Hi po sir, gusto ko po, opo, buwan na, po, kalibangon na daw siya. So, di lang po na ito palabian. Okay, basta, just make sure that you set a respectful tone because sooner or later, you will become teachers. Okay? And of course, kanigit siya. Submit files the right way. Don't worry, I'll be including in the instruction on what will be the file name of your output. So ay gid na ha, kindly check gyud, pakibasa gyud sa instruction because based ako ang kuan last semester na mga estudyante nga dili magbasag instruction. Please pagbasa gyud mo instruction. And of course, kinalasan is gwapong Marimar oy. Gwapahang Marimar. So be kind and professional. So of course, at the end of the day, what matters most is our attitude. So you need to be kind not only with your classmates, but most especially with your instructor. Yes, talk your instructor in a polite way and you need to act professionally. Because you know what, sometimes you are driven by our anger, sadness, and the like, and we tend to post negatively on the Facebook without thinking it first na mabasahan any teacher. So please, you need to see to it that all your posts in Facebook must be what? Not offensive. And of course, we could really see that you are now training yourself to be what? A professional. Because sooner or later, of course, you will be teachers. Magtudlo mo, the same with us, magtudlo mo mga estudyante. So therefore, right now, samtang eskwela mo, you need to train yourself. And of course, for the major requirement in our subject, so of course, to have this what we call element of surprise, di isa na ko ipang-ingon ang ato ang mga activity. But, our midterm, meron na tayong mga project. So for our midterm, your project would be a vlog, together with the handouts and PPT. It is in relation of how you are going to apply your creativity in making video discussions, in making handouts, and in making PPT. Dapat related ta sa education tanan. And of course, for your final term, you will have an e-portfolio wherein you will showcase your artworks. By the way, some of you might think art appreciation, drawing na. No. We will have this what we call dance, music, ano pa, of course, painting, visual arts, and of course, handicrafts. We will try to touch all of that mga butang. Why? Because it is for you to, of course, experience the beauty of what? Art. Most especially, appreciating art. I know you are quite excited with our subject. Of course, I will try to make this subject as a light one, nga ma-enjoy ra gyud ninyo siya, nga di mo ma problema or mabalaka. So, any question, clarification? So, if you have your question, clarification, please comment on the comment section. So, just leave your comment. I'll try to answer your question, or even you may raise it in our group chat. And of course, and of course, see you in our virtual meeting this week. Yes, I will be the one who will send a schedule for our virtual meeting. Sir, what is the purpose of virtual meeting? Of course, to meet and greet sa mga estudyante, because having a relationship with your student, it has this what we call big impact with their learning. Okay? So thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope that you learned something out from this orientation. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, and of course, subscribe on my channel. Okay? And of course, I do really appreciate your comments, your, what do we call this one? Your flattering comments. Dagan kayong salamat naan. And of course, again, this is Mark John M. Martinez, your art appreciation instructor.